From Consumers Energy, Senior Vice President and Chief Customer Officer, Brian Rich.
Good morning, guys.
How
Good to
are
be
ya?
back with you. How are you? Are we still Happy New Year? Are we? What's our rule?
Bart ended it
End of
30,
31st.
31st.
It is the first time I'm seeing both of you.
So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. And it is a Happy New Year.
So far, so good. Yeah, I mean, for the Lions, for Michigan, for the state, it's all good.
We were talking earlier, we're not as interested in the Super Bowl this year for some reason. How's that resonate with you?
You know, this whole Taylor Swift logistics of getting from Japan is something that I'm here for.
Yeah.
And like those Twitter sites that follow the private jets
Yeah.
as they traverse the world, like I'm in for that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yes.
I'm sure she's going to make it.
I think she's going to make
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
She was late for the Grammys, though.
Fashionably late? Is that how?
Fashionably late.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was stuck in weather and traffic in Los Angeles.
If I was the NFL, I'd wait till she got there to start. Clearly,
think that
it's been
If I was the network, I would wait till
good for
she's there.
business.
Yes,
She's been great for business.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the Grammys too. You missed it, but
did.
Brian and I both thought it was a very entertaining show.
It was. I mean, we were talking about the Tracy Chapman, Luke Combs, but then the realization every year, the sign you're getting old is who gets the Lifetime Achievement Award. Bart was saying that, was it Dr. Dre got the?
I think so.
I think he's only, 55?
Yeah. Well, you know, he's back to lifetime of achievement in just a few years.
That's
Yeah, that's
exactly
true.
right, yes. But you could be like the Rolling Stones and just keep going after that. Right.
Oh, we have your new plan, your reliability roadmap, and already you announced it last year, and already you've reached practically your goal.
Yeah, I mean, we've got more to go. I mean, you know, when you speak in generalities, like 99% of our customers have their power restored in 24 hours or less. And let me just take a minute on that 24-hour mark. I mean, when we talk to customers and do customer research, that's the real inflection point around, like, if I know that my power is going to be back on in a catastrophic storm in 24 hours, I can weather through it. I don't have to worry about groceries. I don't have to worry about getting other alternative lodging. But once you get past that 24-hour period, so we're trying to basically say that is the goal, to make sure that no customers experience power disruption 24 hours or greater. For the most part, we do that. But there is a tail of customers at the end of some of these big storms that go a long period of time. And that's really what we're focused in on.
And you serve around 2 million homes and businesses, and this reliability roadmap, this is a long-term plan. This isn't
Yes.
something that just starting and stop. This is long-term. And with the amount of customers and miles of wire, it's going to take a long time.
It's going to take a long time, but what we're seeing, and you know, there's a couple of proof points that we had in these storms a couple of weeks ago that hit Michigan, is while it is a long time, Andy, you're absolutely right, and I don't want to mislead anybody to think that we can get this done overnight. We're already making steps towards that journey. We saw some really good results. The first storms we had here in Michigan, which were pretty big ones, 97% of our customers were restored in 24 hours or less, which is a big deal in the first storm. And you know, our crews just worked around the clock to make sure that happened in really difficult conditions.
Yeah, it was super cold that first
Awful.
situation where we're seeing 20-degree below zero wind chills, and at night, this is when the storms really were severe and the temperatures were really cold, and that's when your guys were out there.
They were incredible. They just have such a heart of service, and what we owe to them is to make sure that the system is more reliable so that we can proactively avoid moments like that. But we were just so proud of the work that they did
Your
during
crew
the
is
time.
tough. I mean, really tough if you think about it.
I wouldn't do it.
And then also the nighttime conditions we talk about. I mean, pitch black a lot of the times. So
Yep.
It's amazing the work they do.
They do a
Look at
great
the
job.
wind.
Yeah, look at that wind. You know, so what we're trying to do is obviously the crews are the real heroes and the restoration work they do, but thinking more about this proactively, the things we're really working hard on is undergrounding a lot of our infrastructure. Here at JTV, you benefit from an undergrounded system out on Michigan Avenue. It's you know, you don't see power lines all over. It's a big deal when the winds come. I'm sure you're a little bit more comfortable than other customers.
Yep.
We have a lot of old infrastructure. Some of our poles out there are 60 years old that need to be touched and updated. And then there's a whole component of technology. And you know, simplistically, let's just suppose here on Michigan Avenue that one half of the street is fed by one substation, another half of the street is fed by another substation. What we're doing is called looping, where you could effectively connect the two sides of the street. So if one substation goes down or some wire on the way to that one side of Michigan Avenue, it can flip over to the other side and build redundancy into our system. So between undergrounding, investment in technology, and then just really what we call looping or hardening our system, there's a lot of work we can do.
Well, you've accepted the reality that weather has changed and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And yesterday, there was some discussion about, because hurricanes are getting more severe, adding a new category, a Cat 6,
Yes.
which, I mean, that's pretty amazing that there's evidence that, yes, we are definitely seeing more powerful and more dangerous storms.
Yeah, so think about that. When we make investments into our system, think about the engineers at Consumers Energy 30, 40, 50 years ago that were rating our system. What they had contemplated as extreme and severe weather is nowhere near what we're seeing today. When you go back to like last February storms, the amount of ice that accumulates on a line or the amount of winds that they're seeing, the system isn't necessarily rated for that. So those are the investments we're making.
Yeah, I think yesterday they closed the Mackinac Bridge because the ice buildup. I think that happens every year, but yeah.
Consumers has also received $100 million in federal funds that is going to be going to improving infrastructure in disadvantaged communities, and you guys will start spending that pretty soon.
That's right. And what's really cool about that, Andy, is we already had this reliability roadmap in place and said over the next 10 years, this is where we want to touch the system to harden it and make more investments. The grant we got of $100 million effectively just overlays that and really helps bolster some of our disadvantaged communities. And those are customers that when they experience power outages don't have the ability to make alternative arrangements or replace their fridge. So we're really excited about that.
So we've had, with the exception of those storms last month, we've had some mild weather so far. It looks like it's going to continue for a while. The weather really does impact your delivery of service.
It does.
Having a mild winter, is that good? Is it good for the company?
Yes, and it's good for customers too. So, I talk to customers all the time, especially this time of year, and they say to me, my furnace, I keep my furnace at the same temperature. I don't know why my bill is either higher or lower. And the reality is that if it's mild outside, your furnace just isn't working as hard. So customers should see lower bills as a result of this mild weather. Now, obviously, we had that huge cold snap for about 10 days in the middle of January where furnaces were really hard. But by and large, this mild weather will help customers with their bills. And clearly, as the conversation we were just talking about, we love clear weather. It keeps our electric system reliable and power flowing. So it's all good.
The other thing that you've been working toward, besides the reliability roadmap, is clean energy. You want to have the company entirely dependent on clean energy in just a few years.
Yeah, I mean, what I love about our approach through it is you've seen maybe some places throughout the world or even in the US where it's been kind of clean energy at all expense. And you've left a lot of customers who have been unable to afford it. What we've done is a really, really thorough analysis that kind of balances the need for clean energy with the need for affordable rates, with the need for the fact that the power has to flow. So obviously the wind isn't always blowing and the sun isn't always shining. And our engineers have really balanced across those three dimensions and built a great plan. So not only are we on a march to a net zero carbon system by 2040, but customers will save money on our journey, which is really exciting.
I think that's a great point, being able to afford new things that are introduced. And again, another reason why Michigan's going to be a great place to live.
I'm betting on Michigan.
Yeah, for sure.
Palisades might reopen.
Yeah.
Is nuclear energy in Consumers Energy's future?
It's something we're not taking off the table. I mean, we think that in order to get to really a full carbon-free system, you're going to need a breakthrough in some technology, and whether it's a more affordable nuclear solution or what they call carbon capture and sequestration, where you can put a carbon capture system on the back of a natural gas plant and actually reduce all the carbon by sucking it into the ground or whatever. There's got to be some technological breakthrough, and we're not taking nuclear off the table. There's a really lot of good advancements. It's good for the state of Michigan that Palisades is coming back online, and I think we're going to need more of that.
Is that considered clean energy?
It's carbon-free, yes. I don't know if renewable advocates would consider it to be renewable energy, but it is carbon-free, which if you look at the energy law that's passed here in the state of Michigan, it's an important part of that solution.
Yeah, I think, we've had several nuclear plants decommissioned. Big Rock is one that Consumers had, and you would never know that it existed.
Yeah. When you think about every day there were probably hundreds of people that came to work there every day, and the big construction efforts, and now all of a sudden it's just looks something different. So the new nuclear solutions are a little smaller, a little more modular that are coming online. So I think as you see new nuclear technology, they won't be as big of a footprint as you've historically seen.
Brian, what's the rest of 2024 looking like for you guys? We're going to be at 2025 before we know it.
Yeah, so 2025 is the year that our coal plants are all decommissioned, and it's a big milestone for the plant. You know, we operated 12 coal plants. We've already closed 7, and the remaining are slated for closure next year. We've got natural gas that's in place. We've got more renewables coming online, so it's an important milestone year, but we feel really good about it. These coal plants have served this country and the state really well, but they are end of life. I mean, they need massive investments, and the right thing to do is to bring them to their natural closure. So lots ahead. 2024, this reliability thing is the big focus. I want customers to know that while we do provide a reliable service already, we've got work to do to make it even better, and we're hard at work. Our engineers and our crews are working hard.
Some of your hydro plants are end of life too.
They are, and you know, we're really engaging with the communities to figure out what's the right solution there. They don't produce a lot of power, but they are carbon-free power. They're important to the state and they're important to those communities. So we're starting to engage with customers to say these are end of life. You know, with what happened in Edenville, there's a lot of regulatory investment that's being forced onto those plants. So we're starting the process of engaging with communities to figure out what's the right solution for those hydro plants.
Brian, thanks so much for being with us. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure as always, guys. Thank you.
Brian Rich, Senior Vice President and Chief Customer Officer at Consumers Energy, with us on the morning show. We'll be right back after this quick break.